Love the music. What is up? I don't know how many more Monday NFL shows we got. Probably very few because we got the divisional round this weekend and the conference championships and then the week off. I feel like there's 3 weeks between the Super Bowl and the conference championships this year. It feels that way. But what's going on, Kegger? We got 4 really good games, and this is when the playoffs get going. And yeah, we got a little weather, but we got the best quarterbacks in the game. We got the best teams in the game. And we're going to bet the shit out of this. I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
My friend, it's all fun and games when we say we're going to be live for every game.
Yeah.
And then we're live for every game.
Yeah.
And we get to the divisional round of the playoffs. It's been a long year, my friend. I'm looking forward to getting this stretch run done and getting into NASCAR.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's been a great year. We crushed this year overall in the NFL. I like where we're at this week. I think we're on some good spots. I like these games. They should all be entertaining. I'm looking forward to it. This is the best weekend of football every year, the divisional round, these 4 games. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's very exciting, to say the least. So we've got this going on. We've got free broadcasts of these games, and we got pay for broadcasts of these games. Now, here's the 2 games we're going to do for free. First game tomorrow, Chiefs Texans public show. It's for you guys, for the free folk. Commanders Lions behind the paywall. You got to be a subscriber. Tell you how to be a subscriber in a second. Then we've got Philly and the Rams. We are going to do behind the paywall.
Yep.
And we can't do Ravens Bills anything but free. I mean, we got to show people how great we are in the biggest game of the year. I say this again. The Super Bowl might be a little bit better of a matchup. I'm not sure because we don't always plan. This is the game. The Ravens Bills is the game of the playoffs. It's the game we've all been waiting to see again.
Yep.
Earlier this year, we saw it in the playoffs, or we saw it last year in the playoffs. We're going to see it this year in the playoffs. And we'll get to that game last today. But here's the deal, Keg, and you know this, and I'm going to let everybody know this a couple of times during the show. All right? You want to get in our pre-flop picks, and we'll give away a free pick today. That'll be great. You want to get our pre-flop picks. If you want to live bet with the best live bettors in the world during the 2 games we're going private for this weekend, you got to sign up. NukeTheHouse.com. NukeTheHouse.com. Home of the world's best live bettors. What we do, you don't got to watch a show like this. We'll send you the plays right to your phone. Real-time in-game betting notifications right to your phone. So you sit there, like, I don't want to watch a 3-hour show. Fine, don't. Sign up. Pay the $59.99 a month or sign up free for a week. Get in there. Keep your phone on. Keg and the boys will send you the play, the number, and the book. Simple as that. 3 things. If it's a player prop, Lamar Jackson ladder. Boom, 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 boom. If it's a team, boom, 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 boom. That's how we do it. Right to your phone. So 2 ways to do it. NukeTheHouse.com. Subscribe. $59.99 a month. Takes you right through the Super Bowl. Or Nuke the Playoffs is the code for 1 free week. Okay, here we go, pal. Woo, Mel, it's good to see you in the chat. Yeah, last night was a rough couple of games to start, and we murdered it on the back end of the NHL show. Plus night right there. What up, Tyler? That's right. We had a good NHL show. The NHL fans are always the most diehard. Like, they'll come back. People probably didn't even know we had an NHL show last night. We had a whole bunch of dudes hanging out. Gnarly, always good to see our boy Maddie in here as well. But we begin with our first game of the weekend, Kegger, and we kind of brushed over these on Monday. We talked about them a little bit, but Texans Chiefs, and this thing right now is sitting most places, most shops, 8.5 as we tape this thing. It's up from 7.5. I do see an 8 out there right now. The total staying pretty firm, down from 42 to 41.5. Texans at the Chiefs. This is an interesting game because it wasn't a blowout the first time these 2 teams met, was it, Keg? But the Chiefs now had some time to rest. CJ Stroud coming off a pretty good game. But is it enough to go to Kansas City and win? And by the way, the weather, for those of you that are not aware, cold and gusty in Kansas City. Cold and gusty. It's just going to be cold. Wear a coat. Kegger?
Yeah, I mean, last week we thought that Houston +3 was the side. We thought they could win the game. They ended up getting it done. I think that this is a very, very much tougher ask for CJ Stroud and this offense without Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. Kansas City defense is legit, and they're getting healthier, and their pressure on the quarterback has been very good the last 3 weeks. This is my problem. I don't believe you want to say that, KC sleepwalks through the regular season. That's been the narrative for a couple of years now. And they proved last year that was the case. They started 8-5. They flipped the switch in the playoffs, and, it was all over but the crying. You can't sell me on the fact that KC in the playoffs has an offense just inside the top 20. I don't buy that. If you look at their net yards per play and you look at how it increases in the playoffs year over year compared to the regular season, every year, I expect that same effort this playoff run. They will be as good as they've been offensively in the playoffs all year long. And if that's the case, I've got this line 8.5, dead on. 6 points on a neutral, 8.5 at home. I think that they're a teasable side. I think I couldn't lay the 8.5 because you and I both know this team really doesn't pull margin on anybody. My gut says they probably win this game by about 10 points. But I would be looking to tease them. As far as the total, I think it's about right where it's at because I don't know what you're going to get out of Houston here offensively. I think the KC defense is going to be on point this weekend. I think they're going to be ready. So I especially with Andy Reid off a bye, very tough ask for Stroud in his second year to get this playoff win on the road. In terms of the props market, I'd be looking, the number has moved. It is now a full reception more, but I would be looking at Mechie. I still don't think that number's right at 3.5, considering the fact that all they have is Nico Collins and Joe Mixon. There's nobody on that offense that you can count on. They just released Deontay Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think Mechie is your clear number 2 in this offense. 3.5 receptions feels a little low. On the flip side, you and I gave out a play earlier in the week. We gave out Kelsey, playoff Kelsey. He's been a ghost all year. I think he shows up in a big way. And then I know, Meyer.
No more plays. We gave enough free stuff.
We gave out Kelsey on the Monday show.
Yeah, that was free. You just talked about Mechie. One free play a game if we want.
Yeah,
we got too many.
Got it at 2.5 receptions. That number's gone.
Yeah, all right, fine. You gave away Mechie, but it doesn't matter because if you weren't a subscriber, you didn't see that Keg posted that when it was a joke of a number.
Yeah, correct. We gave out about 8 plays as soon as the lines dropped very early in the week. So we've beat the number basically everywhere. So it's going to be hard to get anything that we're on now, but at least we could tell you the direction we're looking.
Yeah, and the other thing was, and we talked about, and you didn't mention Robert Woods, which at this point, his receptions prop set at 2.5 plus 165 or 1.5 minus 186. That's literally the only other guy on the Texans you can look at. You could take the risk with Schultz if you want to, but every single game, Woods is getting 2 catches. Once in a while, we'll get 3. Just
and Dalton Schultz has been so MIA this year, man. You just can't count on him.
But I was saying this: Chiefs are terrible against tight ends. There's RDJ brought it up, so yeah. I mean, we can look at Schultz, but the look at Mechie is just too good already.
Yeah, I mean, we already got it at 2.5 receptions. I really don't mind the 3.5. I think he will be targeted. I don't mind the Schultz call. But, I've been on him a few times this year, and he really hasn't paid me out that much. But for the exception of 1 week, maybe he shows up in this playoff game. I really like the KC defense against these guys, though.
So 2 other guys. Let's go back to Kelsey for a second. Because
Sure.
I had an interesting conversation with a guy. We were doing the hockey show last night, and I'm like, yeah, let's go, Kelsey. But the number hasn't moved very much. And he's like, that's because the books are just taking all the Kelsey money and they're eating it. The projections are in the high 40s everywhere. And I'm saying to myself, maybe this is a little bit more of a risk than you're used to taking. But if we're saying something all year long, that this guy, Kelsey, the only 2 games that he showed up was after Rice got hurt. And then besides for that, he had a couple of games where he stepped up. This is Travis Kelsey time. I get it. Worthy's there. Totally understood. Worthy's getting some targets. Noah Gray's getting some targets. Hollywood Brown's getting some targets. Watson will get a target or 2.
Yep.
But who's the number one constant throughout the years? Keg, I'm sticking to it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But there's no reason that Kelsey isn't going to be featured in this game.
Yeah, I mean, since Rice has gone down, Worthy has been the de facto number 1 for this team. But listen, man, when the chips are down and it's playoff time, Travis Kelsey's going to be on one this weekend. He might go 6 for 60 in the first half.
Yeah.
And people are going to be like, oh, yeah, duh. Right. Playoff Kelsey. His number was 50. I'm retarded. I mean, that's a legitimate possibility. So it's a no-brainer. If they set the number at 68.5, we're having a very different conversation. It's 50. I mean, it was the easiest button for me to click this week. No matter what happens, easiest button to click.
Yep. I'm with you. And then Mixon is going to play. So they got video of him going on the bus with no limp. Now the reports are coming out that he's going to do. So go for it. We're in. We're set. Mixon's playing. I don't know how good he's going to be. It's going to be cold as hell. He's got a cranky ankle. But if that guy doesn't perform, they're going to get their asses kicked. Like, he has to give them something. And I know in the chat, the guy's like, hey, let's take a stab on a Dameon Pierce touchdown. I'm fine with that. And I'm not going to do it. But I think it's it's a creative look. But for me, like, if Mixon doesn't look like Mixon, then CJ Stroud's going to have to throw 45 times.
Yeah, for sure.
Simple as that. All right.
And if you look at the pressure rate for KC the last few weeks, since they got a couple pieces back, it's been night and day. Stroud's going to be under pressure a lot. So.
All right. Let's come on. Oh no, Ish wanted more free plays. Hey, dude, I'll give you a free week. Nuke the playoffs. Nukethehouse.com. Let's you already use your free week. Now you got to buy it. $59.99 a month. It's worth it though, right, Keg? Because we got the NFL. We're also doing a public show for the national championship game on Monday night, which should be really, really fun. Ohio State, Notre Dame, right?
Yep.
So we'll be doing that. You get our pre-flop picks there. NASCAR's less than a month away. Cash cow for this place. Can't wait for the NASCAR because I know our boys are going to be making a ton of money. We're doing 2 NBA shows a week, live shows, Tuesday, Wednesday night, NHL, Thursday night. We do those 3 sports, those nights too. College basketball. You got everything. Everything you want. The fights. Johnny and Tommy just came out with the pot again. We got everything here at Nuke the House. $59.99 a month. Or check us out free for a week, Nuke the Playoffs. All right, friend. Let's get to our second game, the second game on Saturday. And guess what? We won't have any bad weather. Commanders, they are 9.5-point dogs everywhere except for DraftKings, where they are 8.5-point dogs in Detroit. The total here is 55.5. That's interesting, isn't it, Kegger? Because I know you brought out, so it's both DraftKings. You can tease just about everything at DraftKings right now. Now you're not going to tease a 6. In what circumstance would you ever tease a 6.5?
There are no circumstances.
None at all. You would
Nope.
not do it to get the team down to basically a pick 'em. Okay.
Nope.
So 3 of the 4 games you can tease right now. Fascinating to me. Commanders Lions. So let's talk about this game, Kegger, and I'll set you up here. The good news for the Commanders is that Jaden Daniels has been really good this season. I get it. I saw some stats. He hasn't been quite as great as he was in the first half of the season. Guy's pretty damn good. All right. They're going to have success early on drives because they're just not going to be able to consistently, even though Daniels is the best in the NFL on 3rd and 4th downs, they're not going to consistently be able to do that against Detroit this week. At least I don't think so. So we've been waiting on these Lions. They've been waiting for a couple weeks now. They're starting to get a little healthier. Montgomery's going to be back. They've got defensive pieces coming back, Kegger. I think Washington's in for a long day.
Yeah, the more I think about this game, the more I agree. I have this line 6 on a neutral, 8.5 in Detroit. That's the current number at DK. Mm-hmm. I think that's accurate. I think that 9.5 at FanDuel, you're paying a premium. At 9.5, I would probably lean Washington. 2 big factors in this game for me, one on each side, but I gravitate towards Detroit in terms of a net positive. My one concern for Detroit in this game is I think they've given up either the most or the second most yards to opposing quarterbacks in terms of running the football this year. That's a concern when you see a guy take off 13, 14 times last week. That worries me a little bit. But I think the biggest positive for Detroit is Jared Goff is the best guy in the league this year against man coverage. Washington is top 5 in terms of defensive man coverage. I think Detroit is going to have a fucking day. And if you really look at the teams that they've played down the stretch, haven't seen a lot of man, I think Washington's going to get theirs in this game. I do. But I think Detroit's going to score 40. And I'm not sure Washington is going to be able to hang around in that spot. I rather than betting the full game over, I would probably be looking at the Detroit team total. But yeah, I think that they're going to go up and down the field on this team if Quinn comes out and plays man coverage. And that's kind of where I'm at. The problem is I think the line's accurate. At 8.5, the line's accurate. Again, teasable side. I have not bet. I can count the teasers that I've bet on one hand the entire year.
Yeah.
I've bet more teasers in the playoffs than I bet all year. So, I mean, it's a teasable side. That's all I'll say.
This whole round's teasable.
Yeah, for sure.
We're on both sides of the Ravens-Bills game.
Yeah, I mean, people can't get that anymore. But, yeah, we've got 7.5 on both teams. And my gut says it's gonna be decided by a touchdown or less. So I think we're in a great spot. But yeah, as far as the Detroit pieces, what do you think about how many snaps do you think Montgomery's going to get? Full participant in practice all week.
Yeah.
First game back.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the numbers, right? They're not lining it like he's healthy because all year Gibbs was like 65, 66. Montgomery was like 63, 64. But now it's more like 85, 45. So what do you think you're going to get out of Montgomery this week?
Now, I had a long conversation with Iowa and the rest of the boys in the NFL chat this week, and I ended up pulling the trigger on Gibbs rushing. I don't feel great about it, though, at this now.
Well, that's why I asked.
They're like, this guy's supposed to, he was supposed to have season-ending surgery. The media fucked it up. He wasn't. All right, he went to 3 different places. He's rehabbed now. Maybe he's not 100%. Probably not 100%.
Because it's going to now listen.
But he's getting phased out?
Down the stretch.
Yeah.
Washington was giving up 160 rushing yards a game.
Yeah, but look what they did to Bucky.
Yeah, that's fair. But to be fair, the Detroit offensive line, their preseason projection was second best in football. So, which is on a different planet than Tampa Bay. So, I mean, I think that they're going to have success. But if you tell me Montgomery gets 12 to 13 carries in this game, then I don't feel great about Gibbs over 85.5.
Yeah.
But if you tell me he's going to get 5, 6 carries in this game, then I think you have to hit the button on Gibbs.
I think it's somewhere in between.
Like that's where I'm at. Obviously, you could always look. Gibbs is going to be a part of the passing game. Montgomery's probably going to be a part of the passing game. I think Goff treats them as, the third and fourth best option in the passing game on the team after JMO and ASB. I mean, honestly, I think that Gibbs has probably been a bigger piece of the passing offense this year than Laporta, if you had to pin me down. So yeah, I think that you'll be able to count on them in the passing game. St. Brown in man coverage and JMO in man coverage could absolutely nuke. So I don't think that they're outside of the realm of possibility. And then on the flip side, I guess I would be looking towards Jaden Daniels rushing. Do you think McLaurin could come with another effort like that?
I don't know, man.
He was
I don't
incredible.
know. I think maybe we go back to Zacchaeus or figure it out with the kid. Who's the kid we were betting on? It wasn't Dotson, was it? No, who's the kid? De'Ami Brown.
De'Ami
Brown.
Right.
So here's what I'm concerned. Let's go back to Montgomery for a second, because his line opened at 36 and it's sitting at between 43 and 46 now. I don't feel good about the Gibbs rushing bet anymore. I did it. Not blaming anyone but myself. But if his prop is let's just go with the original prop, 36.5. How many carries is that? 8? 8 carries? Let me go look it up right now. Because everything's gotten bet up. Everybody thinks that Montgomery is going to get more work than people that don't think he's getting work at all.
I mean,
Rush's prop.
Full participant in practice all week makes me think that he's going to play a decent amount.
His carries is 10.5.
Adam said Gibbs could get 100 yards against Washington, even if it's a 50.
Yeah, but that's not a reason to make a bet that he could.
Yeah, he could. He could.
Yeah. So he hasn't played in a month, but again, his carries prop has gone up from 9.5 to 10.5, and his rushing yards has gone up from 36.5 to as much as 46.5.
At 83.5, you're basically saying Gibbs has to get 3 out of every 4 carries in this game. That's basically
right. Yeah. Now I want to back out if I can get the even money.
I mean, listen, he could go for 140.
I know he could.
He's such a freak.
I know. And if they do score 40 points, all right. You know what, Iowa? It's 2 different situations. I was on Puka weren't we on Puka that night where they said Puka wasn't going to do anything? We were on Puka.
No, we weren't on Puka at 38.5, and he got like 120.
Well, then we got on him live. One of the 2 things. We cashed Puka that night. And this is not the same as Puka because Cooper Kupp isn't taking 50% of Puka's routes.
Right.
He's not taking 50% of his touches. So that doesn't make sense at all.
I would just rather see the early split. And if I lose the Gibbs rushing number, I lose it. I'll just pass.
Big deal.
Right. It's kind of where I'm at.
I don't know if I could cash out or not. I mean, the guys made such a good point earlier in the week. They really did. I just don't.
I think
Montgomery, TJ Vulture doesn't matter. I'm not betting Montgomery touchdown. I don't give a shit about the touchdowns. I'm talking rushing yards because we had a big conversation about it this week.
You're invested now. I think you just stick with it.
Yeah. See, he's being a jerk. He's like, cash out now. Well, now I want to stay in just to spite him and be like, I have that money.
You should stay in because it could easily be a winner. He could have.
I like your bet on him more, but
yeah, whatever. I mean that's just an auto.
I mean, 79.5.
That's a good number.
It's fine. Yeah, it's minus 30, but it's fine. Whatever. I'm in. Let's you know what Kegs made. If we see Montgomery out there before Gibbs, which is an entire possibility, then I'll be like, oh fuck. But we'll find out sooner to game time. Hey, smash the like button. Let's go. Even Iowa. Oh, I haven't talked to you about this. 2 guys just recently subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Nice.
Y2J and Yeg.
That can't be real life. That can't be real life. That's real?
Not saying, just saying. I went through it. I looked at our subscribers. I'm like,
I mean,
head's got to roll.
Adam, get your boy, bro.
Head's got to roll.
I mean, this guy. Wait till I get him tomorrow.
Yeah, head's got to roll. I'm trying to find the screenshot.
That said, it's real life.
Oh, he knows too. Matt knows too. All right. Yeah, it's real life.
Yo, I'm going to shit on Yeg tomorrow. I'm just letting everybody know that right now.
Yeah.
Yeg, I'm coming for you, bro.
Love the Yeg. Unacceptable.
Y2J,
right.
I get it. He's shot. But that's my guy, my number one?
Yeah, not anymore. He's got to drop to at least 3.
That's my consigliere, bro.
Well, not anymore. I'd say this is a very, very, very sad time. Man,
at least I know where I rate on the power.
Exactly.
Race. Holy crap.
Like, how many times have I said subscribe to our goddamn YouTube channel? And that guy's doing a show with us.
My guy. Listen, man, he's got a lot going on. He's got a lot going on, all right?
Really?
For the last 6 years.
Literally takes 0.3 of a second to go click.
He's been busy for the last 6 years, Holden.
Don't try and defend him. This is absolutely unacceptable behavior.
I mean, I can't.
It's unacceptable behavior.
That just blew my mind.
Yeah, it should. It should blow your mind. So this is all I'm saying. Like, there's people right now that have been watching us all the time and they're not subscribed to our YouTube channel.
Probably, yeah.
Right? So stop it. Just click it. Just click it, please. I'm trying to find it right now so I can prove to you here that it really did happen, but I don't know if I can find it right now.
Fucking Yeg.
And what? You know what? You're giving Y2J a pass here. I'm not giving him a pass. That's unacceptable.
Dude, Y2J might have been like one of the first 5 people in the YouTube channel.
And then what happened? He just decided not to subscribe anymore?
I guess so. I bleed for these people, Holden.
Yeah, well, they don't bleed for you. That's what we're learning.
Yep.
That's what we're learning. Thank you, Kegs Made. I bet you do you think Iowa is subscribed?
I'm sure he will be now.
I know Maddie. Yeah, he better be very soon by the time we figure out how to check it again. All right. Well, guess what? If you do end up subscribing, make sure you turn on your notifications so you know when we're on. We're very busy this weekend. What do we got tonight? We got anything tonight?
No.
Nothing tonight. Finally, a Friday night with nothing.
Only night.
All right. So Saturday, Chiefs, Texans, free show. Commanders, Lions, premium show. Got to be a member. NukeTheHouse.com. Subscribe. Nuke the Playoffs free week. $59.99 a month. Sunday, first game, Rams at Eagles. Premium. Public show, Ravens, Bills.
Yep.
College football playoff, free show.
Also, tomorrow is the UFC 311 pay-per-view. So if you do go behind the paywall with us, we will be betting the main card during that second football game. So that is definitely another reason to come and hang out.
Okay. I'm down with that. I got a massive snowstorm coming our way tonight. Not looking forward to it. What am I going to do? I was out in a t-shirt today, Kegger.
Really?
Beautiful weather today. Now?
Love to see it.
A lot of snow. Well, hopefully we see a little snow. The next game that we're going to talk about could have a little bit of snow. We might have a wintry mix.
Okay.
A little snow in Philadelphia. The talk this week is Matt Stafford can't perform outdoors. I mean, he has had some pretty bad games outdoors. The Jets this year. He had a big game against the Packers. For the most part, he hasn't been great outdoors, but let's not count them out just because of that. And I'll say this for Keg right now. I know what he's going to say. Massive quarterback advantage for the Rams. Massive. Rams, they gave up 314 rushing yards to the Eagles in week 12, though. Okay. 255 to Saquon, if you'll remember. My sense is that it's not going to happen. McVay, his defenses have never allowed a 100-yard rusher. Could happen this week. Who the hell knows? But I've been telling you for a while, man. Turner, Young, Fisk, Verse. I'm a fan of this young Rams defense. The fact that they had no first-round picks, it seems like for a decade because they sold their soul to win a Super Bowl. And now they're back in the playoffs back-to-back years. And this year, after a 1-4 start, this defense is going to cause some problems. It's going to be an ugly game. I'm telling you that right now. Talk to me here. No Nakobe Dean either. If you'll remember, he got hurt, last week? Nakobe Dean did. So that's a big loss for that defense. For the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's the hardest game on the board this weekend for me to call. Now, I have been relatively high on the Eagles all year, despite Jalen Hurts looking like he should not be a starting quarterback in this league. I've been high on them because that defense is elite and that running game is ridiculous. So can they take that running game and that defense and beat the Rams? They could. But if that defense has a bad day and the Rams look anything remotely close to the way they looked against Minnesota, the Eagles are in trouble. In trouble. I just don't know if they're going to be able to stop that running game. I don't think they're going to be able to. And if Sirianni is smart, which is a weird sentence, if he is smart, they're going to run the ball a ton. And if that defense does what they're capable of, they're going to win the game. But I'm not going to lie, man. The Rams are live. If that defense has a bad day, they're in trouble. I'm going to say I would take the 6.5 with the Rams. Definitely lean that way. And as far as the total, my gut says the Eagles find a way. And if they find a way, my gut says this game goes under. So I'm going to say lean under 43.5, lean the Rams plus 6.5. But, man, if Stafford looks good in this game early, I might be hitting the button on the money line because I just don't think that the Philly will be able to go score for score with them if this Eagles D has a bad day. So, but I'm going to say Philly gets it done barely. Saquon probably has a monster day, and the defense probably plays well. Lean under.
It doesn't really seem to me like we got a lot of player stuff going on in this game yet. Kind of tough nailing it down. I know we had a couple guys in here saying AJ Brown's going to get force fed. I think Hurts could run the football.
Yeah.
They had 255 for Saquon last game. He's not going for 255, but I mean, I wouldn't blame you betting it over there, but it's fascinating, man. 20-13 is 85-1 on FanDuel, says Kegs made.
I mean, like, it's malpractice if Barkley doesn't have 25 carries in this game. That's where I'm at. Like, he has to run the ball 25 times. If he runs the ball 25 times, they win the game if the defense plays well. Like, I don't know what we're going to see out of Stafford. I really don't. He doesn't love cold weather, too. That's another. I agree with Matt there. He could have a terrible game. But if he looks anything like he did in Minnesota, the Eagles are in trouble, bro, because they don't have that kind of offense. Not with Jalen Hurts. Hurts looks lost. So I definitely lean taking the points.
Yeah.
And I lean under.
I mean, that could change once the game starts, but this is the game we are lightest on.
Yeah, this is the one game where I don't think I've bet a player prop in this game.
You haven't?
No. Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. This could be one of those games like with what we did last week in that Packers game. We figured that the Eagles were going to go run heavy. We took the Packer wideouts to have the most yards in the game. I mean, that could happen here. The problem is Puka to have the most yards in the game is probably like even money or worse. That's the only problem. We're not going to get a discount, I would think. Let me check, actually. Puka. What do you see for Puka most yards?
I can't even find it. I don't even know where it is.
He is minus 125. That's the problem. We can't do that in this game.
No.
Because we threw AJ Brown out last week, which was easy to do. But you can't throw Puka out, especially if they're playing from behind all game. Yeah, I don't know. This might be one of the 4 games where I don't have any action pre-game, and I just bet it live. The one thing that I would say, though, wow, 110.5. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah, I can't. I can't.
You can't.
What's his rushing attempts at? 20.5? I would rather take him to get more than 20.5 carries than get 110 yards. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get involved. This might be the one game where we're live betting entirely.
Okay, I'm fine with that. All right, smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel if you want to check us out for a free week. So you get all the pre-flop plays for this weekend, Monday's college football championship, et cetera, nukethehouse.com. Click subscribe. And while you're there, either enter the code Nuke the Playoffs for a free week or $59.99 a month. Or if you really want to dive in and have a good time, $599.99 a year. That's the best deal you're going to get in the business. Ravens Bills. Oh, yeah. So it was a 1.5 point favorite for the Bills. And then it flipped a day later. Then it was 1.5 point favorite for the Ravens. Now you're seeing 1.5 Ravens favorite on the road in Buffalo, which is interesting because that would mean what, Keg? That they would be 4 point favorites on a neutral? Like Buffalo has to have a nice home field, right?
Right now, I have Baltimore just about 1 point better on a neutral.
So why are they favored?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I was thinking about this, right? What caused the move? The only thing I could think of is if you look at the first, 10 weeks of the year, and you see how bad that Baltimore pass defense was, it was atrocious.
Yeah.
Then you look the last 6 weeks, they're number 1 in the league in EPA per pass on defense, and they're number 1 in the league on success rate the last 6 weeks. Here's my problem with that stat. Do you know how many top 10 offenses they played in that span?
1.
Correct. At that point, you just can't sell me that number's a real number. I'm not buying it. There's no way that pass defense flipped the switch and now they're the best pass defense in football down the stretch, but they've only played 1 top 10 team. Yeah. Do you know how many top 10 offenses that they played the first 10 weeks?
No.
6. Huh? When they were abysmal. So I'm not buying it, man. Okay. I know my power rating has Baltimore 1 point better on a neutral field, but for my money, Buffalo is the best team in the AFC. The model says what the model says. Sometimes I agree with it. Sometimes I don't. I think Buffalo is the best team in football, and I think they're going to be strong defensively in this
better
game.
Than the Lions.
Well, I said I meant the AFC. Best
okay.
Team in the
okay.
AFC.
Okay.
Yeah. I just think they're the best team in the AFC. I really do. I think it's right there for Josh Allen this year to get to the Super Bowl. He just has to go out and take it. And they have their work. I'm happy that we have 7.5 on both sides of the game because I do think it's going to be close. I think Baltimore's very good. I think you have to say right now, for me, they're probably the second best team in the AFC. I would say KC's probably third. So yeah, but yeah, I have to go with Buffalo here. The problem is like player prop wise in this game. I don't know how you could know where to go with Buffalo. They have so many options that they can get the ball to. I'll say the same thing I said last week. It looks like the one guy you can count on is Shakir. He's been the number one this year for sure. Outside of that, I don't know. Do you think James Cook is going to look the way James Cook looked last week against Baltimore? Probably not. Probably not. Even though Denver was rated very highly against stopping the run, but they didn't look great last week. My guess is Baltimore looks better against the run than Denver did last week. But yeah, I think you're going to want, like, we gave out Lamar on Twitter at the open at 45.5. That was the stupidest line hung all year long. His number now, I would think, is what, mid-50s, probably? Lamar?
Yeah, it's mid-50s.
Yeah, so 55.5. Yeah. I mean, listen, I think he's going to have 70 plus in this game. I think he's going to run a lot. Regardless if Zay plays, we still don't know. Harbaugh said he will probably have at least a chance to maybe play if he can go. But that doesn't sound great. That doesn't sound like it's an automatic. If Zay doesn't go, you're going to want to look at the same guys that we were looking at last week. Everybody else in the passing game. Bateman, Andrews, Likely. You're going to want to look at those guys. I think Lamar is going to have a day. And I think Derrick Henry probably has a day. But I don't know. Buffalo's home. I just think Buffalo is the side here, man. I think if you want to give all the respect in the world to Baltimore, this game should be a pick at absolute worst. So if you're going to give Buffalo points, I think they're the side, period. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
They had been favored in 42 straight home games, the Bills. Last time they were underdogs was week 17 at home, 2020 against the Dolphins.
So you're telling me that this is a historic spot, because that's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like
42 straight games.
This Baltimore team is just historic.
This week, the 42 straight games. All right. So that's the first thing. Second of all, everyone's worried about the weather. It's just going to be cold. Maybe some snow showers. You never know in Buffalo because the lake effect could just dump a ton of snow. But right now, that's what we're looking at.
Both these teams have guys that could run the football at the quarterback position. Is Josh Allen as fast as Lamar? No. But if Josh Allen decided that he wanted to run for 80 in this game, he's going to run for 80 in this game. And there's not a thing Baltimore's going to be able to do to stop it. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, good. Most rushing yards, quarterback, NFL postseason history. Number 2 all time. Lamar Jackson, 602. You know who number 1 is?
What?
Josh Allen, 609.
There you go. Yeah, give me Buffalo to finally get over the hump at home to get to the AFC Championship game and probably play KC to get to the bowl. That's where I'm at.
I'll just to let you know, I don't know why we're not going back to Bateman. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I haven't decided yet. I just want to know that I want to know the status of
Flowers ain't playing, dude. If there's a 5% chance, I would put it at 5% that Flowers is playing at this point.
Well,
just from other reports. The guy's not even walking.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Bateman's numbers moved probably a yard, 1 yard since the news that Flowers might have a chance to play. I don't think he's going to move before kick to the point where we wouldn't be able to get on him when we know for sure what's going on with Zay.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to hold off.
You're right.
We'll probably be on Bateman though if Flowers doesn't go.
So, and just to clarify, Flowers is not officially out, so there is a chance he plays.
Right.
There's a chance. Doubtful. but I'm saying there's a chance. Very small chance. Okay, we can wait on that. Hopefully we don't miss it by that much. And then the other thing was I just laddered Henry in different ways up to like 200 yards. That was it. Small bets.
And to be honest, if Buffalo comes out and gets the ball first
Uh-huh.
and goes down the field in 8 minutes and scores a touchdown, you're going to have an opportunity probably somewhere on that first drive to get Bateman at what he opened at.
Okay.
So I'm not really worried about it.
It is a little the only thing I would say is it is concerning with the Bills just eating up so much clock. Betting overs in that game, besides for Lamar and a couple other guys. They just sit on the ball, man.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, looking at the full game total at 51.5, I lean under, man.
I don't blame you.
I think that's high.
Mm-hmm.
Like 27-23 at most, or even 27-24 would be 51. I mean, this could be a 23-20 game, and I wouldn't even think twice about it. I think the defenses are going to be better than people think. I don't think this is just going to be automatic offense up and down the field. So I definitely, my strongest lean in terms of side and total would probably be the under. We're already have both teams at like +8 or 7.5, but I do think that the under is not a bad look. I think that this is going to be a low scoring slog to go to the AFC Championship game.
Let's give one best bet. The best bet of the weekend, Kegger. What is it? Is it Lamar? Is it Kelsey? Is it teasers? What could it be, Keg? What could it be? And while he's thinking, smash that like button, please. Subscribe to the Nuke the House YouTube channel. Turn your notifications on. That means you, people that work with us and hop on these shows that are not subscribed yet. That means you, people that are not subscribers and just sit here and watch these shows. Okay?
Well, everything I've bet is gone except for one prop. So let's give that one out.
Kelsey?
No. Jahmyr Gibbs over 23.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
I mean, they're just going to keep hanging 23.5, and I'm just going to keep betting it every fucking week.
Kelsey hasn't moved either, by the way. He actually went down by a yard at FanDuel.
Well, I see 52.5, and I bet him at 50.
Yeah, we bet him at 50.5. That's what he is at FanDuel right now.
Oh, okay.
So, again, we've been saying it all year. This is the time when he's going to wake up, maybe for the last time, but that would be it.
That's one of those bets, man, where like if it goes down, you have no problem accepting that L.
That's
when you think about everything that he's done in the playoffs. You just take that L and keep it moving. It's a no-brainer bet.
What about the best bet that Johnny Bravo is going to be hammered Saturday night?
I don't want to get Johnny upset, but I am going to be in my Gibbs jersey for that Detroit game. That will happen. I am rooting for that team hard to win a chip this year for my guy Jared. Hard.
Okay. Chiefs, Texans, free show tomorrow. Saturday, free show. Second game, Commanders, Lions, behind the paywall. If you want to see sexy Keg in a Gibbs jersey, you're going to have to pay for a subscription. Sunday. First game on Sunday, Rams at the Eagles, premium. Sunday night, Ravens, Bills, public. Monday Night Football will be college football championship this week. All right, for Kegger, I'm Holden. Go to nukethehouse.com. Sign up. It's been a great season so far. We'll do one more Monday show next week. We'll know who's in the conference championships for the Kegster. What's so funny?
Stemberg just came in at the last second to bury me.
How much is the sub?
I honestly love that kid, bro.
Let's go nuke the house.